we entertained ourselves in the town hall. There was the snooker tables on the first floor. There was 2 snooker tables, and there was another one on the top floor. And we had the tea cosy next door, which that we lived on milk.
Milk. And who owned the tea cosy that time?
What?
Who owned the tea cosy?
Bird and Clark.
Bird and Clark, yeah. And was it nice inside in it?
Oh, it was lovely there. There was a girl behind it, and we'd all go in there. But that was the only thing we had was milk.
Well, did they have coffee and tea? And
tea, yeah.
Tea in there,
we lived on milk.
You drank milk mostly, yeah.
In one year, it must have been about 1956, we had to go to Dunmore to a 25-mile time trial. So we cycled up there and it rained. It rained in the race, and when we got back it started to ease up. So in those days the pubs were locked. So Palmer says, we've got to find a pub. So we found a pub, and Pat Grady and John Foy were in there having a drink. So he went up to the barman and he said, I want 2 brandies now. And there was about 4 or 5 of us. So I said, right now, put that on your, take your shoes off, rub it on your feet, and both of it, the lot of you, and that'll keep you at home.
Well, John had preferred to drink it, he would.
So we did it, and we got home. The boys, 2 boys, were flaking out at Claremorris. We got home, we were lovely and warm, and the feet were lovely and warm. The heat came up through the foot.
So you cycled up to Dunmore, done the race and cycled back?
So I cycled back again.
Good day's work.
It sure was.
But were there, used to go to the movies or anything like that, or pictures or dances? Or?
Oh, Pac Malone's and the Ideal. Pac Malone's was the first one, I think.
And where was that?
That's where the town hall is now.
Oh yeah, so we showed films in there, yeah?
That's filmed in there. And the Ideal then was dance hall and cinema.
And how much did it cost to go to a film that time?
Oh, I think it was only about 6 pence or something.
6 pence, yeah.
It was them all.
And a dance?
A dance, probably round about the same. We had the pavilion at the time. When Cox got the contract to build a wall around the football pitch, concrete wall, it was just an excuse. And they built the pavilion in the meantime, and that's where they held the dances. And there was one, we used to go in there pretty regular, and Tommy Brennan was, he was secretary at the football club, Westport United. He was in the Kaya, so we told him, we had just come back from Finner Camp, and we told him there's a band in the north called Hugh Tourish and the Clipper Carlton. And he says, get them down. And he did. And they went down the bottom. That was the start of the rock and roll and everything.
I remember them,
terrific,
yeah. But, so you had plenty of places to go to then, like you had cinema and dances and...
Oh, it is, yeah.
And cafe, so you had a good social life, yeah?
Yeah. You had, it was more, Westport was very social as well too, because there were very few strangers. The one thing about Westport is, if a stranger came in, they said, right, he'll get involved, give him the work.
Yeah.
We'll always class it as a stranger's town, but that was the reason. But
so you got involved in boats and fishing and all that one time?
Yeah,
how did you get involved in that?
Well, as I say, in 1985, I went to London for 2 weeks. It lasted 4.5 years.
Oh.
So we came back 1990, me and myself and Finton, and I was in the Asgard one night, and Francis Clark, Edwin Gibbons and Johnny McNally were in there, and I said, this was Saturday evening, so I said, what are you doing tomorrow? Well, we're going fishing, we're going out to Clare Island fishing. Would you like to come? Now, I had never been on a boat in my life. So I decided, okay, I will. grand. I had 2 little rods for the boys. So
Yeah.
what then? I died. Went up to Acklebaig. And I died 7 deaths. Died 7 deaths. So that I was so bad that said we bring you to Clare Island. On the way to Clare Island, there was another boat fisher. He was catching mackerel.
Mm.
So they stopped again, and I died again. So I went into Clare Island, and we had, I think it was the Peggy G, the boat we had at the time. It was just for the day. And went in, Pat Murphy was with us. He was only a gosser at the time. So went up to into McCabe's and then went up to the hotel, and we had some sandwiches, some food, and so we sent Pat down to check the boat to make sure it didn't go dry. So went down. He said it's okay. So we decided, right, we go down now. We went down. It was dry.
No.
No, this was in the old pier. It's completely sanded up now,
Mm.
and so it meant we had to hang on. And
For the next tide, yeah.
I had phoned May just before we left the hotel. Now in those days, it was a radio phone.
Mm.
The post office was closed down. There was nothing.
Yeah.
So I said, we're leaving now, May. So anyway, she waited and waited. We didn't dock up at 9 o'clock the next morning.
But had you contacted her in the meantime to say you
I couldn't
couldn't?
contact her.
Oh, okay.
She was living in Castlebar. We were living in Castlebar at the time.
Mm.
But anyway, we got over that, and I decided, well, to hell with it. I thought, well, you know, anybody that got sick as I got, they wouldn't bother their arse going out there again. So I decided I'd build my own boat. So I built the Marianne in the back of the house in Castlebar, and built it upside down.
Mm.
It was marine ply, and it was good marine ply, and I fiberglassed it. And I had 2 plasterers there, and they were from Attimass. Gallagher and Hughes was the name. So I said, what's the chance of you give me a hand to turn the boat over? No problem. The 3 of us turned it upside down. I finished it off there. I brought it to Westport then, and I finished it in Westport.
What year was that?
I was about 1970, 71. I finished it in 70.
I remember it, yeah. It was there, yeah. It was there. You had it a long time, didn't you?
Yeah. Well, I remember when I launched it at the quay, and there was a few boys came down to have a look, English boys.
Mm.
This was for the festival.
Mm.
And Ray, I can't remember his second name, he came down. I met him
Ray
the
Sheehan.
last... Huh?
Sheehan.
No.
Okay.
I met him the last day in the... He was over for the skate festival.
Mm.
I said, do you remember 1971 when you helped me launch the boat? He says, I'm not coming that long.
Mm.
He says, you are? He couldn't believe it.
You had a very powerful engine on it, didn't you?
I had a 140 engine in it.
Yeah, there was unusual run.
Race and it was stupid.
How many knots would it do?
I would say you'd be talking about nearly 30 knots.
30 knots. It was very fast at the time, wasn't it?
It was, yeah.
Mm. Great boat.
Yeah.
Did you do hire with that, or did you?
I did kind of.
Mm.
Sean Kettrick would do nothing, so I asked him to take it out.
And was the fishing good in the bay at that time?
Oh, it was marvellous.
What kind of stuff were you getting?
You were getting everything, but the one thing that we really used to haunt us was the spur dog.
Mm.
If you hit spur dog, you clean up. And spur dog are gone completely now.
Gone.
I caught one the last time, it was been about 10 or 11 years ago, and I took him in, and the bottom of the jaw was gone, but he had only the top. And but to clean the spur dog out, because they're cleaning everything out.
Mm.
The crab are gone.
Well, is there a bit of conservation going on now, is there?
I don't know. I don't know. I've lost contact now the past 6 or 7 years.
But in the 70s, there were a lot of boats down the quay then, weren't there?
There was, yeah.
Who had them that time? Can you remember?
Well, you had McAleers, had the Mallow Queen, Mikey O'Malley, and had the Paddy Warden, had the Peggy G. Then you had the Seamus McAdang Dang, will belong to your man the Asgard, the Yank, and all those boats.
Yeah, there were a lot of boats there.
Oh yeah, and the what was his name? The man that
Vincent Coakley had one, did he?
Vincent Coakley had the. That was the what was the name of that one?
I can't remember that
I
one.
can't remember, but anyway.
Mm.
Well, it was awful competition for the tours and
For the business, there was competition, yeah.
yeah, but it's I remember we were doing the oysters.
You do the oysters, you did, yeah.
We did, yeah. Oh, every boat in the in Connacht was down doing the oysters.
I remember going into work one morning and looked out in the bay,
Yeah,
and I didn't know what it was. I thought it was the sea was rising or something. There must have been 100 boats out there.
it was, yeah.
Yeah.
Oh, our Bannock.
A panic, yeah.
Yeah, there was so many boats there.
Mm.
But there was a big hoo-ha about safety, life jackets and everything. So RT came down and decided they'd do a program on it. So they met me on the quayside and they wanted to, can we go out in your boats? I said, yeah. Of course, I went out in the boat and I let off a flare, to just for the program.
Yeah.
All the boys on the boats to turn their heads away.
The,
Didn't want to be seen. But when you take it now, from then, I tried to get them to wear a life jacket. That's because there had been a few incidents.
risky business.
A
risky business.
It was, yeah. A few people were lost at sea. One of them was found, and the other they were eventually found. But if they had a life jacket on them when they went into the water, they would have floated. And that's all I wanted to do, because we set up the Cuba Rescue at the time. And we broke it up into sections: Westport, Kilmena, Newport, Mulranny, Curran, Louisburg, and Clare Island.
The whole bay.
Whole bay. They
Covered, yeah.
we had contact in all these places, and they would come out.
And you built an Anglian centre down there.
Right?
There was an Anglian centre built down there, yeah.
Oh, the Anglian Centre was there when I came there.
Yeah. Who built that? The Anglian Club, is it?
The sailing club. Well,
Yeah.
actually, it was the Westport and District Tourist Development Company,
Okay. They built it.
which was
It was the centre of the world for a long time, wasn't it?
it was the
Yeah.
especially Sunday night for the card game. Oh, it was deadly. It was a great social place, really. Which a lot of the families, parents came out that wouldn't get out normally. But
And they had the international fishing competition, which is still going on.
the international.
That's old now, isn't it?
Yeah, but the skate festival is taken over now completely. It's
What was the biggest fish you ever saw coming out of there? Would you think?
it was common skate 147 pound, I think, something like that.
Big fish. There were a lot of them in it, weren't there? At the time.
An awful lot of them. So we brought in conservation in 1973, I think, or 74. And that all fish will be returned alive, bar edible. Because the skate were going down rapid. The dogfish were going down rapid. And I remember bags and bags and bags of fish coming in at the festival and dumped over the quayside.
I've seen it, yeah.
Consequently, you'd have a load of monkfish at the tower. You could stop for an hour at the tower and get a monkfish, or a few monkfish.
They were coming in, they were.
There were, yeah. There were fish. It's a process it's now gone into a situation where those fish are coming back again.
Because they're minding them.
because of minding them.
Good. That's great. Yeah.
And it's only right. It's only right. Yeah.
And they used to have shark safaris there one time, usn't they?
Oh, I had
Would you get shark? You would.
What?
Would you get shark? You would.
Oh, we did, yeah. I remember May, Francis Clark and myself going out in the Finnon and going well out past Clare Island. Good fishing around that. We took in 12 blue shark and returned the lot of them to the water again.
And what size would they be now? What length would they be?
They would be roughly maybe 1 metre to 1.5 metres roughly.
Yeah. And would you get them nowadays, do you think? They're still there. There must be some.
So they were in it, yeah. But there's an art. There's nobody goes out that area now.
It's very far out, isn't it? Yeah.
Oh, it is, yeah. When I had the restaurant, I used to go, I was roughly 1 hour past Beetlehead on Clare Island. Just go straight, keep going.
Yeah.
I tell them they want to be looking out now, we get the American looking for our passports.
And how deep would the water be out there?
You're on the 50 fathom mark.
50 fathom.
But there was one spot where it was a big area. Came up to 23 fathoms.
Okay.
And if you got down on the side edge of that, you would pick them. If the tide was running up the way, you would fish on the upper side, and all the bait would fall down there, and that's where you catch your fish.